We are back to the warehouse in the aftermath of Blitzball Battle 7. We've got a champion among us. Let's talk Blitzball. Welcome to the Blitzball Boys, the podcast about Blitzball and boys, but lately about men. I'm your co-host, Brendan Ruppel, along with my fellow host, Peter Del Rey. Moment of silence for Peter. Moment of silence over. Let's not waste any time. We've got a fan favorite here in the warehouse. Danikin Skywalker is here. Hello.
Yo, fire me up. What up, Brendan? Good to see you, man.
You too.
I got a couple things to say.
Yeah.
The jingle is fire.
It came
Refer
with
to me
the
as
PodTrack P8.
Oh, dude, that's fantastic. Refer to me as Danikin Skywalker. Fantastic. What else was I gonna say? You consider me a man now.
I do. You talk about it in the post game a couple times that you've grown up. You started as a 21-year-old boy in Nikes and jeans, and now you're hitting walk-off doubles to win championships with makeup on.
Now the only downside of that, Brendan, is next tournament. I gotta make sure, like, if there's one bad game that happens, I gotta be cool, calm, and collected. I like a certain expectation now. I feel like where it's,
Yeah, that's true.
Dan's grown up.
That's a
But
good point.
word up. I consider myself. Yeah, I think I have grown up a little bit. You know, I got some books over here. I didn't even mean to do this. This is a holy Bible. It just happens to be on my desk. My brother sent it to me when he thought I was like. He called me on the phone late one night after a Yankee game, and I was just up for so long. And I think on the FaceTime call, I looked strung out. He thought I was like on drugs. I'm not. And he sent me
right
a Holy
now.
Bible in the mail, and I just keep it on my desk. Anyways, I just looked at my shot.
You look
I
very
see it
intelligent.
I'm just trying to gas myself up here. It's whatever.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I got my like psychology books, my new age freaking whatever the heck it is. So I think I am a different man these days.
I think so too.
It's easy to be a better man when things are going well. You know, like
That's true. Times are not tough right now. I mean,
Yeah.
the first few games, I guess the first two games, you had some spells of old Rourke there because you weren't pitching, you weren't hitting necessarily.
Well, I was doing both those things, just not well.
Not well. Yes, I wasn't performing. So you come off Captain's League, right? And everyone's got this hype about you. Like, oh, Dan's got this new way of pitching. He figured it out. He dangles the foot. It doesn't work at first. But what were some of those changes that they kind of touched on the broadcast that you made?
Like the changes in Captain's League.
Yes, the ones that I didn't see Captain's League. That was just busy that season. But I had heard the fodder of how like lights out you were. Like what did you do? I heard about the foot dangling. That's about it.
That was the biggest mechanical change. Was since high school when I was pitching regular baseball, I always went slide step, which is not like the
Yeah.
thing people would often recommend because you take like lose power, blah blah blah. Which that's a separate argument. That's baseball, and maybe that's true. Blitzball obviously doesn't matter. So
Sure.
I was just going from the slide step, and that's how I've for the long time now, years I've always thrown. Obviously, I was on Jimmy's team, the breakdowns, and that wrote a whole bunch of things about what it's a lot of it more so was mental with the changes I made, but the mechanically was the leg lift. It really helped like slow me down.
Okay.
And one of the things Jimmy would tell me was as I'm lifting the leg, count to 2 and then throw. Which also, not to jump ahead, it's a timing thing. And Jimmy later told me that when he hit the homer off me, or he said it in the
counted
broadcast
two
too,
in his
when he
head
hit the
probably,
homer off me, we're on the same. He was counting 1, 2, and then pitch delivery, which isn't the whole,
Right.
cat and mouse game of hitting versus pitching, but makes you think a little bit.
Yeah, it puts them on the same page a little bit as you.
I wish I thought about. I'll go right back to my answer, but I wish I should have went back to the slide step just for that one AB against Jimmy. I wish I
or
went back
for
to the
an
slide
extra
step.
second, like count to 3 or 4.
I'm gonna keep it in my back pocket, or something like that. Yeah. Anyways, the leg lift definitely helps like slow me down. Which anytime I'm performing well pitching wise, and this is really like a life thing, I'm speedy on the mound. If I'm speedy, just like my brain throughout the day, I'm not gonna be successful in any regard.
Yeah, no, I hear
On the
you.
mound, the leg lift slows me down. So that
I fully hear
feel
you.
like-
I think it's something about like I don't know if you do too, but I have like neurological issues. Like I take medicine that is also used for
I do,
ADHD.
brother.
Yeah, I had an inkling. But I feel like sometimes I need to slow myself down when I'm talking because I know what I want to say and the words want to go faster than my mouth can motor. And I feel like that translates to like sports as well sometimes too, where
100%.
when I play
100%.
blitzball, I'm not playing in front of people or anything like that, so I don't have anything to be worried about. But I still, for whatever reason, can get ahead of myself. And I also pitch with the slide step always. And I had to learn a mechanism to keep myself down. I was throwing fastballs, and I was just like, they were all ending up, 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 up. So I ended up just like staying on my back foot for actual. I would like tilt back so that it would remind me to tilt back forward again, almost like a lean, kind of similar thing to what you're doing, is lean back to lean forward sort of thing. And that
Absolutely
helped me out a little bit, and just to slow things down in general.
Yeah, and that's like not to get all philosophical here in this regard, but I apply that to life too, and not every single day. But if I'm going to do something successfully, I can look back and be like, "Oh wow, that was a moment that was speeding up, and I intentionally slowed it down." And bringing it back to Blitzball, that's really what the leg lift would do: is intentionally slowing down my delivery, which my mechanics are so much better when I'm not like herky jerky. Which game 2 of Blitzball, I mean, game 1 probably too. But game 1 is weird. Like game 1, I was like actually very calm because I know I get amped up.
Yeah, you were like you looked like you're really trying to be calm, which maybe isn't like necessarily calm if you look at it that way. Like actively trying something doesn't sound like a calm.
Yeah, and it was also a thing too where I watch these games back, especially when we lose like previous tournaments. I'm like, man, I come off like such a fucking dickhead, yo, such a dickhead, and I hate watching back. So I also was telling myself going in, and you're playing We Got Ice, and a lot of times we don't have good game 1. So I'm like, yo, I obviously want this.
I think you said that after that game too. Like when you lost, you even like felt pretty good about the game. So you're like, we lose game 1 all the time.
Yeah, well, people also do hop off the train way too quick. That bothered me too. But I was telling myself going in, if this doesn't go my way, you're not out of it. You could still win the next game. Yeah. We have the Woogas are very good in game 2, unlike how we're very bad in game 1.
Right.
Still go on to win the whole thing, and I want to look back on how I handled myself and acted in game 1 if we were to lose, which we did. If I were to pitch bad, which I did, and not be embarrassed whether or not we went on to win the championship or not. So it was a thing where I went into game 1 trying to be very calm. And whether that came off that way or not, but even, after giving up 5 runs, highly anticipated for me, like pitching, here we go, blah, blah, and then I go back to shit in the bed. I was having a good time hitting. Like I was making jokes, cracking jokes.
Yeah.
And then game 2, after some nights of thinking on it, or not nights of thinking on it, one night of sleeping on it, I was like, all right, well, we lost. I want to go back to, I want to try to turn it up a little bit. So I had a couple energy drinks. And if you notice in game 2, by game 2, I mean, when our game 2, obviously against Whack, we had a pretty good game offensively. That first homer I hit since walk-off against
the bat
Jimmy.
started to come alive for sure.
Yeah, and that was the new stance.
Well, was that the
on one that game.
Panic
I was going
game
crazy.
Though?
Yeah, that was that was the Panic game. Panic hit the grand slam, and Dalt usually always gives me a tough time pitching because Dalt's so good. He had some he legitimately was hurt, guys. Like
I had a feeling because they didn't say it until right before that second game on our end, on the audience's end. But after game 1, he didn't look hurt, but all of his stuff was like a little bit slower than usual, and it wasn't as sharp. So I'm like, and Panic coming in this early at that time, it just something seemed up, and then they announced it. I think going into their second game that he was just not well.
I mean, the broadcast should have noticed I mentioned it the second I took him deep because I don't touch Dalton. I don't, especially a slider, And again, I was cooped up that game, and I was feeling good, which offensively, pitching wise, I did feel a little better mechanically, but the radar I was hitting like 75 each time. I was screwed because I was so juiced up.
Yeah. Zins that game?
Dalt was
Zins that game?
Oh hell yeah. Dude.
Okay.
I'm a month off Zins now. I'm a month off Zins.
Okay.
This might just be what it is, but actually no, I can't even say that because at the time I was still. This was recorded. You know this, but we recorded a few months in advance. This was recorded in September, so this is 3 months later now. That time I'm still on Zins. I'm still I'm going home. I'm smoking some pot. I'm now since October 20. Game 2 of the World Series was the last time I smoked little marijuana. So I'm completely cold turkey since then. Yeah, nothing there. I have to treat it like it's,
Yeah, but I mean, if you feel
heroin.
like it
it's not heroin, but like for me, I have such an addictive personality. Like it was a big thing I had to conquer. Like I got off that.
If you feel like it impacts you in a negative way, then whatever works best for you.
Like,
so.
Yeah, and at first it's great, but eventually, you do it every day. It's like, oh my god.
You do anything every day. It's just
I'm off.
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm a month off of Zins now too, so. I'll stay that route as long as it doesn't affect my blitzball play, yo. I mean, if I don't, God forbid, if we don't repeat in BB8, or if I lose one game,
just a whole mouthful of Zins. Just
fill me up. Shit, I'll double the dosage. The dosage, you know what I'm saying?
It's for the love of the game.
Yeah, no, I'm doing better in that regard. Not to sound like an addict here. During blitzball, man, there was that one inning where I mentioned it. I think
you did. I was going to say
deep. I was like, I didn't have a Zin.
I was even packing Zins.
Yeah. And you can always tell, even if I don't talk about it, which I kind of like the idea of, not the idea, I mean, don't want kids to get on nicotine. It's bad for you
Right.
at all. Like, please don't. But there's something about like just my persona in the warehouse that it does fit just seeing the fucking fat zing ring in my pocket. Like, it's just something about it. It's like, oh, there's Dan being Dan.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
It's old school baseball. I like
You
that
know,
aspect of it.
and I don't think any kids are watching this stuff and being like, I want to be like Dan Rourke, so I don't worry about it too much,
Yeah.
you know.
But it just makes
Although
me laugh. That,
maybe
like,
now that I'm a champion, Brendan, maybe that'll change.
that'll change things. Yeah, you got a lot more power now. It always made me laugh that the person on the Yankees that felt to me like one of the most white bread characters, being DJ LeMahieu, always packed the fattest fucking lips I've ever seen. He was like enormous. They're
It's
cool.
just like, I think he's still in that era where, dude, like the veterans, you got to think probably like, EJ I think debuted in 2011. I would bet of a 25-man roster at that time, 20 at least dudes were fucking packing lips.
Well, now,
Like,
and now
of that age. Because those are the guys that debuted in the 90s. So if you're a rookie coming up at that point, and I'm sure
Yeah.
dudes even in high school, it's such a. I even tried packing a lip when I was in high school. I think God, I didn't like it. I thought it was gross, and I kind of did it as a gag. But especially back then, talk about the culture, man. Dude, if I was around in the 80s and 90s, I'd probably be hooked on Red Man too, yo. You'd be seeing that in the pocket instead of like, Zins are just like the replacement. It's like kids with cigarettes versus vape.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how we got down this rabbit hole, but like vapes drive me crazy. Vapes drive me crazy, and like I used to dabble in that too. Kids don't ever do that. But like, yo, our generation. But I'm not sure how old you are, but I think we're
31.
Oh, you're 31. I would have guessed you're like 27.
I appreciate it.
But even probably you. Our generation, we beat cigarettes, yo. Like we had that. It was done.
I hear cigarettes coming back. They're on their way back. I hear.
Oh well, yeah. Because now people like now it's like you might as well because everybody's back on the vapes.
It's
But it pisses me off
a
because, we
recession
did beat
indicator.
cigarettes, but then they threw the vapes at us, bro, and like sheep. We all hopped on that, myself included.
And the little like tiny like USB ones they're so easy to access, easy to hide.
Dude, a mint jewel senior year of high school, forget about it.
It makes
bro.
sense because
Oh
like
my
you
God.
can do it undercover and like the smell kind of dissipates really quickly. So you can. It's not like you're smoking a fat cigarette in class like that shit. Just can't get away with that.
And like you rip a jewel, you look sick. So I mean,
That's what, honestly, I always said
back then at least.
I've never smoked
Back
a cigarette. My wife never smoked a cigarette, but I always said like honestly, women smoking like a big cigarette is a very attractive thing.
In
I don't know why.
movies,
It's cool.
In
I think
movies,
it's old
you
school
don't
cool.
associate the smell. Yeah, like the old
Marilyn
fashioned.
Monroe,
Like,
smoking a
I
cigarette.
think of a and this is crazy. Like, please, kids, if you're watching this, like, smoking's whack. I quit it for a reason.
Yeah.
I quit it for a reason. I just quit all this stuff, and I'm a Blitzball Battle 8 champion or 7. I'm losing track now. But like the transatlantic accent too. Like that's what I think about when I think about like an old fashioned movie star woman like smoking a cigarette with the
black and white.
The lady from
little
101
extra-
Dalmatians.
Yes.
Yeah, like the long
Cruella
fucking
de Vil.
stick that holds it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. But moral of the story is you're in a better place mentally.
Well, the story is don't smoke. But go on.
So those we get through those first two games. Amazing that you're able to kind of keep it together because you didn't have the success and you were hyped up from Captain's League, like I was saying. What was your thought process after the two games had happened and you had not gotten an out yet? Were you starting to get worried at that point?
I was all right. Pitching. There's like different sectors of the way I think about it. I want to win the whole tournament. Me and Nor talk about it all the time, and obviously that's what you want to do. Individually, there isn't always something to prove. Not offensively, because I've had like the walk off against Jimmy, like at least in terms of a moment that gave me that. I obviously want to hit well, but pitching, I do always have something to prove. I'm obsessed with pitching. Like today we just recorded no spoilers obviously, but we recorded slap ball. We hit our lunch break. I'm throwing a bullpen. Our slap ball day is over. We wrap up filming. I'm throwing a bullpen. I am obsessed with this, and I talk to Jack. I talk to Jack Doyle about it all the time. I yap about it in the office all the time. Obsessed with it, and I had to have something like there was something for me to prove. And Captain's League did that to a degree.
Yeah, but it's like you feel like that's like the minor leagues compared to Blitzball Battle.
It really is spring training. So from the standpoint of even just going into franchise, it's all right. Captain's League, at the very least, I got to show off my stuff, and then I'm capable of it.
Sure.
Then it's also that's kind of like the minor leagues. I also had Jimmy right behind me the whole time.
Sure,
which
like your coach.
Big improvement was mentally, and ultimately that's all I really needed Jimmy for.
And then, there's less people there, just quieter in there.
Yeah, and I suffer from the yips big time, so it's all that's such a factor.
Yeah.
And then like that's already a vibe I'm feeling. Like, all right, I did it in Captain's League. I got to now prove it in Franchise League, which I did feel confident I would do so.
Right.
Then you don't do it, so it almost amplifies that feeling even more because not only did you not continue that, you took a step back. So it's I just like and Poof was saying it to me too, and I can't blame him. At the time, it was lights are bright now, you can't do it. Like, oh, I was hearing all this stuff, but now the lights are bright, you can't do it. There was part of me that was thinking, maybe I can't, even though I knew I could.
Yeah.
It was just, I thought this would be the time where I would prove, no, I can do it in a franchise league. I can do
Yeah.
it for the Woogas.
At that point, you almost
then I
wish that
didn't do it.
you didn't play well in Captain's League. He's like, well, if I always suck, then it's just like a bonus if I happen to do well now.
Yeah, because that's what's going to drive me insane. Even times where previous Blitzball tournaments where my pitching wasn't good, I knew I know I'm capable of it, and it's something.
Yeah.
It's such a confidence thing with anything. Like,
With
I know I
everything.
can do this. I know I can do that. It's like asking out a girl almost. If you're feeling on top of the world,
Yeah.
and say you're having a bunch of success, asking out a bunch of ladies, you ask the next
Bunch of
lady,
ladies
feeling
on smoking
pretty good about it.
cigarettes, looking good.
Yeah, like that whole thing, which, I got a girl right now anyway, so I'm not doing that no
all
more.
right.
Now I'm talking like, I'm such a wise older gentleman by
You
now,
really
man.
are
It's
so
freaking
wise.
awesome. I really am, I'm coming along.
You brought
But
that
no,
Bible on your first date.
it's like, yeah, yo, bro, dude, I'll be carrying this around. They're like, why are you carrying a Blitzball? I'm like, I'm just like a Chad from High School Musical. I want everybody to know I play. He always had the basketball.
Yeah, he did.
But anyways, it's just a confidence thing. It's like, whether it be a good game, all right, next game, I'm feeling good. Bad game,
Sure.
complete opposite.
Makes sense. Momentum.
One strike, first pitch strike. Even if like that Doyle ball, which was a funky play, like I wouldn't have caught that ball either. Cohen probably, like, that's a tough play.
Yeah.
I got Doyle soft contact on that first pitch. If that were, say, a few feet over and was like a routine fly ball that anybody would be able to catch, if I get Doyle out there, even just from a mental standpoint, like mental momentum.
Yeah.
That's
good.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It worked. All right. That could have changed that whole first game.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and just like situationally too, that's better, obviously. Less pressure.
yeah, of course. And same for the game against Rotten. Not to mention the idea of if Shelby doesn't swing at that final pitch, which was obviously a ball above the zone, confidence is totally shaken. But
Yeah.
in that case,
That is huge.
I wouldn't have
when
stayed in
watching
that game.
Like that, there's a
I wouldn't
chance
have
that
stayed in that game.
that against
I
left,
just
that's
got
like a
worn
foot
down.
above the zone, and like he swung
Yeah.
through it. But then not to like to totally discredit you there, like you do have deception, and your ball does have a lot of rise and run. You made him think he had to swing by getting early strikes.
Yeah, it's my pitches definitely do move a little bit, but even so,
Yeah.
like you look at, just compare Game 14, that first inning I pitched, or especially just the first batter against Shelf. Maybe threw a couple pitches against Plouffe. Maybe through the first two batters I faced, Shelf and Plouffe of that second inning.
Yeah.
Compared to me just in the third or the fourth inning of that very same game, two totally different pitchers because the confidence was there, and that's what I'm saying. Where like I don't want to say confident Dan or confident anybody. It's a completely different being than
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah,
Whatever
like,
you're doing, whether
the
it's
rest of the
pitching
outs
or-
you got that game were like kind of imminent because you just proved it to yourself in a harder situation.
And I felt like I could strike out Aaron Judge. in that
It looked
game.
like
By
you
the fourth
could.
inning. I really felt like I could. Like,
Yeah, you're in the fucking zone.
you know,
I mean, I'm going to actually rewind it for a second too, while we're
Yeah,
talking
sure.
about the Rotten game. What gave you the balls to ask for the ball there? Like we've been talking about how you had improved it all tournament long so far, and then you just felt like you wanted to prove it to yourself, maybe, or what was your thought process for like begging Norp for the ball there?
So, big thing is that there was a base open. If it were bases
Right.
loaded, I would not have done that. I would have wanted to. And as it was happening, if you watch that inning, before it went down, before the inning even started, this second inning, excuse me, I say to Norp, don't forget about me. And that's all about me pitching. The first runner gets on, and then the next runner gets on, which low-key probably should have caught that ground ball, by the way, or at least I had a chance. It was up
Yeah,
the middle. I was
yeah.
kind of right there. Anyway, it's first and third, nobody out. And obviously, single wins the game, our season's over.
Right.
And by that point, well, I was already starting to build up a little bit throughout the inning, and I always want to pitch no matter what.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I don't want to say God was speaking to me, but from a religious / non-religious perspective, there's just like a little voice in your head.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, we're probably about to lose right here. And there's
Yeah.
other thing is like with Norp, I don't even think I think the first single was a ground ball too. So like Norp was pitching fine. Norp shoved this entire tournament, by the way. Like he was freaking insane. Shout out to him for having the belief in me to get this one batter.
Yeah.
That's all it was at that time was, yo, I just need one batter. Because if I walk him, all right, there's a base open, it'll be
Yeah,
bases loaded.
have it back.
And
Yeah.
right back to
My
you.
bad.
I'm in
My
the same
bad.
spot where you're at.
Yeah.
It was that. It was like, I'm going to either walk him. I believe in myself enough to where if I don't walk him, I think I will be able to get him out.
Yeah.
That's usually how I feel.
I think that's how people view you too. I think is like, well, he's either wild or he's lights out. So I think knowing that about yourself, you're probably like, you know what? We're about to lose anyway. What's the worst that could happen?
Like, that's where we're at. And it was truly, I was like, almost considering it a loss already. You kind of, I know what he was probably doing. Like the viewers watching, like runner on third, bottom of the second, nobody out.
Yeah.
I was like, if we're gonna die, I want to die in the mount because I had so much buildup about this tournament, especially coming off Captain's League. But every year, bro, every tournament for Blitzball, I go into it like, this is the year. I'm gonna do it this year, whether it's winning or proving on the mound, pitching wise. I get so like, this is my big leagues, bro. I'm obsessed with this shit.
I love that you guys have it. It's so cool.
Dude, this is me too, man. I'm so grateful for all this stuff. it goes by so quickly though, because it's like, all right, it's a 4-day shoot.
It's like a long weekend, right?
4 days short. Yeah, it's a change every now and then, but I think it's like Thursday through Sunday is how we do it, or maybe it's Wednesday through Saturday these days. Right. Game 1, Game 2, those take place for the first 2 days. So you game 1 on the first day, game 2 on the next day. You each play one game, and then playoffs for the third day. So this is now the third day, our first playoff game. You get so hyped up for this, and I'm talking months of buildup of Blitzball. And then it gets near. We're talking about it in the office. We're doing practice sessions. Like I'm saying to Norp, like this is our year. And then all of a sudden, we're one hit away from our season being over.
Yeah.
2 days after, I was getting excited for the tournament starting. Yeah. And it was like,
and Norp's with you in the office at this point too, right? Like he now works there.
Yes, which is so awesome in general, by the way. Like Norp's a freaking guy. We got to talk more about him later on.
Oh, we will.
I mean, he doesn't care about this stuff because he's Jimmy Norp. All he cares about is winning. But there's a certain expectation level in regarding my play and his. Let's make this clear real quick, and then I'll finish up what I'm saying. Jimmy Norp played way better than me in this tournament, but he's Jimmy Norp. So people don't. They just expect that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
He's an MLW guy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and like I don't want that to ever go over people's heads, which I don't think it does. But
no, for sure.
Shout out Jimmy Norp, but I want to talk more about him.
Of course.
I just was like, well, yo, we got if we're gonna die, like I just want to die with the ball in my hand. And then again, I was either gonna walk him, ball goes back to Norp, and it's bases loaded anyways, same situation, winning around on third, or I would get him out. And then they fortunately Shelfie struck at a pitch a foot above the zone.
And then the rest is history. I mean, that really does set you up for like, okay, I could do this. Let's see what else we got.
Yeah, especially once I got a fastball by Plouffe in the second at bat. So Shelfie's out, there's one out. Plouffe's now up, first and third still obviously. And I think the first pitch, I faced him so many times.
Yeah.
And struck him out so many times. I'm starting to lose freaking track.
I mean, he was laughing at you when he was on the side. He was on the bench just like giggling, like, what is he doing?
Oh, dude, don't even get me started, man. And my dad watching that, I had to explain him every single time because he's the only person I really would tell like what went on. So when I had the initial footage of the tournament, I showed it to him at the time. Right after when it happened, I was showing him the footage, and this most recent when it was aired actually on the YouTube, obviously. Yeah. I was telling him like, Dad, understand, me and Plouffe are boys. Like he's the man. He's had my back forever. Like, cause my dad was like, this fucking guy, man, listen to him, blah blah blah. I'm like, no, like,
he's just doing a character. He's
like, yeah. And that's all. There's two parts of it. It's like, one, Plouffe's just busting balls no matter what. He's got my back, and two, he plays up a heel, and you can really tell that by the way when he goes to the sideline reporter, because I put him there. No, but he goes to the sideline reporter, like he turns that character mode off, and you see how
he does like his job that he does with the Twins. It's like, oh yeah, like he's good at this.
Yeah, and he was freaking great at that. By the way.
I forgot that he did that for a while until he was like good at. Like, oh shit, yeah, he does this sometimes.
Yeah, it's so cool with anybody. It's just like you see them like in their environment. It's like, oh, like this is what you do. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like if I just got thrown in there, I'd be like, yeah.
Oh my dude, you're telling me, bro. I'd be like, what up, yo?
That'd be good. That's why I like when you guys do that when you are the sideline reporters for Captain's League. It's always funny to hear like random people just get to chop it up.
Yeah. Anyway, so like I got a fastball by Plouffe in that second at bat, and that's where I start to feel it a little bit. End up striking him out, and then Shelf hits that ground ball after a long at bat down the line, and a foot away. Well, bro. Well, yeah. There's that foul ball.
Yeah.
Then there's obviously the one that Ryan Cohen makes an incredible play.
With Rob Sirocco in the way with the
Rob Sirocco, love him to death, and probably I feel like if Rob had gotten in the way, that probably does get called for interference.
I think so.
That's still like.
I mean, if the cameraman catch was called an out, I think that one would also be called an out. But
right, and they said at the time
if Rob didn't touch it with his skates. Yeah, if he didn't touch it with his skates, and Ryan like fumbled it a little bit, it might have been called a single though. If it doesn't,
that's
touch
the thing.
Rob
Like
at all.
one, you just don't know, and two, even if it is like that's called an interference, like that's lame. Like that's gonna be a lame way to finish that inning.
Yeah. It's
Just Cohen caught it though, and it's like, yo, that's an incredible freaking play.
you don't have to question it at all. It happened, and
Yeah, and it's such a better way to like let that moment live rather than
It's a
'cause
huge
even on
exhale out.
Shelby's end too. Well, you inject somebody with truth serum, like Shelby probably be like, if that were to happen, God forbid, Rob gets in his way, Cohen loses it. Shelf or anybody like rational mind, probably like, all right, that should be interference. But in the moment, a competitor's brain is gonna be like, yo, what the fuck, like.
Yeah,
It should be a win for
you
us.
would have flipped out. I think Shelby would be like, "No, it's a fucking hit. We win."
Right? No, probably. Yeah, I was like, God damn, yo. So thankfully that didn't happen because Ryan Cohen's a G. He made some insane plays this tournament, by the way.
I mean, the one for baggage was the one that stands out for me. That was nuts.
Was that the one? Was that the dive?
That was the dive.
He made
The one-handed
Oh my god,
grab.
that was.
It was like glue in his hands. That was nuts.
Bro, Cohen,
It's insane.
freaking insane.
Yeah.
Also, he was just so cool during that whole. Everybody was so cool in the warehouse. Like as the game went on, the third inning, fourth inning too. Like it really just felt. It was such a moment, and I was in such a state of.
Yeah.
Everything was just clicking, it was just working. My brain was flowing, confidence was there.
Yep.
And what I was saying before, but especially as it went on, like after the fastball, I blew by him. I did it again. I think the next inning after that, blah blah blah. I was just like, man, it just felt like God was throwing the ball for me. Like I was just like, it was just floating out of my hands. And like my arm
afterwards,
wasn't
like you're
doing
in a flow
anything.
state, sort of.
Oh, it was such a flow state. Like, and I try to remember this. Like even throwing my bullpen today, it's like, yo, my arm. During that game, I hardly even felt it. Not because I was on any drugs, Chad, but because my body, it was just all my body. Like my body was throwing it. It wasn't like me throwing my arm. And you could tell, too, like the difference in movement on the pitch. Like that is from the torque and the twist of my body basically carrying the entire, what would be the plane of the ball after I released it. That doesn't happen when I'm throwing all arm. When I'm throwing all arm, it's all over the place. It's a straight fastball.
Yeah.
Like even in We Got Ice game or against Dalt in game 2, the balls were more so the problem. Like, balls that I was throwing, I'm saying, like, and the velocity, the pitch movement, totally different.
Yeah,
Whereas
for sure.
Rotten, especially as the game went on, like, there's like the zip, there's the bite, and that's all because, on the surface, it might look pretty similar in terms of the way I'm throwing the ball, because like the mechanics on the base level are relatively similar, obviously, but the motion I was using with my body compared to throwing with your arm, it makes especially with the Blitzball, like, it's so light, you don't gotta do much with your arm anyway.
No, you really don't.
Yeah,
and your fastball pretty consistently has like a naturally two-seam run. Like it goes up and in towards the righty a little bit, but then that curveball almost just goes the same speed and drops straight down. It doesn't even move that much. It's like a 12-6 that just has like it's so bizarre, that pitch. Like what do you do to hold that pitch? How do you hold it?
I happen to have a Blitzball on me.
Perfect.
So obviously fastball, just like that.
Yeah.
It's a 4-seam or whatever. But the curveball, so that's like my hard curve.
Which I love that pitch because it looks like it tunnels so well off that fastball.
Thank you. Yeah, some people call it
I don't see you snap or anything. It looks great.
Yeah, some people call it a splitter, which like I push back on that because while maybe the movement is similar to like a major league splitter, it can't be a splitter unless I'm splitting my fingers. I don't split my fingers. This is a splitter. Like I'd have to be splitting my fingers, so it's not.
Yeah.
But, my hard curve, I hold it real tight, same way I did in high school, just like that. Usually, actually, there's no gap, but finger right on the base, so you can't really see it on the camera, but on the base of the ball. And the way I throw it, and a big thing for me is I do take pride in all my pitches, which it really is just those main two, but I like two more on top of that as well. But mainly holding, I want to throw from the same arm slot because it is very similar to like a baseball mind for me, where I don't like if I'm throwing a different pitch, if I'm throwing a slider, I don't want to be coming down here or coming down here. It's like my fastball is from this arm slot. I want my curveball free from this arm slot too, because that way it's true deception. It's like it like honors what pitching is supposed to be. Not to get all weird about it.
I agree with you. It's cool.
But, you know what I'm saying? So my curveball I throw the exact same way, and I'll tell you.
Are you releasing it like a foot? Like are you releasing it like this, or are you still cocked forward for a minute?
I have to like see, but like it's pretty much just like fastball, that curveball like that. It definitely is.
So you're just getting that straight top down motion on it.
Pretty much, yeah. And I'll tell you, I do snap it, but one thing about franchise this past tournament, my curveball actually wasn't that good, even when I was pitching well. My curveball was, there was a couple curveballs that I hung.
They were up.
One, the location wasn't great.
Yeah,
like
the Plouffe thing that got him out was just like
looking on.
Straight
Who
up
should
there.
have set that shit through the loft warehouse, like the ceiling of the warehouse, or through the ceiling of the loft? That was a hanging curveball. The curveball that I threw to the shelf that he fouled up the wall and I caught, that was a hanging curveball. Like between the location of them and the break. I know you didn't watch Captain's League, but go back and watch some, or you can just go to my Instagram actually. But It's
Your
on there.
taste of
Like,
reels.
yeah, if I do something, if I perform slightly above average in the warehouse, it's going on that day now.
Absolutely.
But the curveball is thrown in that's truly how the curveball is supposed to move, where it just
Sure.
falls off the table. Like that's what it's supposed to
So
be.
there's more to expect there. Just this is crazy because
Yes.
even
Oh,
like even if it doesn't
100%.
move that much, I think you get away with so much with that pitch because it is a tunneled pitch, and like towards the higher end of that mile per hour threshold that you guys have. Like you don't see it from a lot of other guys. A breaking ball that's at the top of the 60s. Usually
Yeah.
their breaking balls lose so much speed, so that helps you recognize a little bit more. But yours being fast, I think, is really important.
Yeah, and like the other pitchers in the warehouse, like their breaking balls move more than mine. Like the actual pitchers on their own,
They're like
they're
loopier,
better, I think,
maybe.
than mine. But like it's all like based off the fastball too. And
Yeah.
that's what you're saying. Like they play off each other.
Just a
And that was
guessing
one of the
game.
things that Jimmy told me in Captain's League too, was really like emphasize like, yo, I do love my curveball a lot and I take pride in it. But he was saying like your fastball is your bread and butter. You probably even heard him say that at times during the Rotten game when he was calling pitches. He'd be like, all right, bread and butter. Like that's him telling me to throw a fastball. Just increase the usage on that. So I made the fastball probably instead of for a long while, I was probably close to like 50-50 with it, maybe even 60-40 at times with the curveball to fastball ratio. But at least against Rotten, I would say probably, I want to say I was more so like 80-20 fastball. Maybe that's a little bit high. But at the very least, I increased my fastball usage because one,
they weren't hitting.
Fastball was like pretty decent. Yeah, and like also the curveball becomes that much more better. That much more better. That's great. That much better when I'm throwing the fastball.
Yeah.
Or, because they play off each other. So,
yeah, and I think it keeps them off the scent a little bit because they think like, oh, I'm finally going to get this fastball. I know it's coming now. I think I've got it timed up. I know how it's going to move, and then you drop the curveball on them.
Right, and that's like that pitch with Plouffe. That pitch with Plouffe that again on its own individually, like makes me want to vomit because it was a hanging curveball that I threw to Trevor Plouffe.
Yeah.
That on its own is a pitch Plouffe should crush, but I do understand in the fact of whether it's that one right there off the way my fastball was going, starting off 2 fastballs.
Yeah.
If you at the same speed, to a degree, understandably so, think that's a fastball coming in, you think that's going to go above the zone for a ball, but it stays there and drops down. Or when when Jimmy tells me to, I think it was when he told me to start Plouffe off with a hard curve down, and Plouffe swung over it, a little check swing, but he went on the first pitch. And then I go fastball, I think I blew it by him, and then I struck him out looking on a pitch like on the lower part of the zone. Same type of deal, but flipped with the fastball because he probably thought that was a curveball. The way I started him off,
down, it was going to go underneath the zone.
Drop under for a ball, but it was a fastball that stayed up
there.
So it really just plays off each other.
And those low strikes are so tough because they're at like shin height.
Yeah, and like it probably does help that like I'm not like a huge dude, but I did a very big. And Poof talks about it. I think this is like my greatest advantage in terms of like I don't think talent's the word, but like it's like the way I naturally pitch. It is a very deep extension. I get very close to the plate.
Right.
So while this goes for times where if my mechanics aren't right, you just compare me to myself on a day where my mechanics are perfect, extension as long as possible, body doing what it's supposed to do, compared to the days where I'm doing a short stride or I'm throwing all arm. It could be compare a 69-mile-an-hour fastball I threw the Rotten game to a 69-mile-an-hour fastball I threw against Ice, or I'd say against Dalt, but I don't think I threw anything below 74. Like even just those 2 pitches, like it's not even comparable. I feel like how hard it is to hit on a certain day. Whether it was against Rotten or another game. So
the one where you're extending fully and your mechanics are right, they're missing that one every time.
And it's the best feeling in the world, man.
Yeah, you start to feel that. Yeah. We were talking about Jimmy a little bit too. Now we get to the game of you guys, the Woogas versus the Breakdowns. And you guys have a history with them already, even before Jimmy being your mentor in Captain's League. So there's a big storyline there in general. You have the walk-off. It's a classic moment. Jimmy falling down is always going to be funny. But now he's like, he means something more to you. I know you always looked up to him, obviously, but like now he means a lot more to you, even within this tournament. How did you feel going to face them, and like once you're starting to pitch against them? Like you talked about that mind game you're playing with him because he's your pitching coach.
Oh my God, dude, there's so much I could discuss here. So first things first, mentally for me, just on my own, once I had the Rotten game, not that it was playing with house's money at all, because I ultimately you want to win, and if I could guarantee a championship and me not have any individual moments, automatically you do that, no doubt. I want to
yeah.
win. And word. But in terms of like the whole what we were talking about before, like proving something like about the pitching, like I knew I kind of had that in the bank. And it was kind of just like a breath of fresh air. Like, all right, at least people are gonna know. Like, there's a reason why I was so adamant about. Like, I want to just I want to pitch. Like even game one against Ice, like people may be wondering, like, yo, why is Dan starting? Why does Dan, like, same last year? I think I started and it was like, yo, what is he doing?
Yeah.
The fact that I had the game against Rotten just kind of like checked that box for me. So I was in such a good mental place. And the reason I bring that up is it was such like a let's go like take care of business. And our whole vibe that game in Newark was we were so business. Whether it's I'll answer your question in a moment, but just like the bottom of the first after we're down 3-0. One of my favorite moments of the tournament is us first two pitches that Jake throws us back-to-back singles, and we were just like a machine. It was like automatic, like all right, time to hit. Here we go.
Yeah, I think they're both first pitch, right?
Yeah, first pitch, Jimmy hard single. Second pitch, Jake throws me like a slider that kind of like hung on and
it did.
down the line.
I think you even said it too. You're like, Jimmy did it, so I felt like I could too.
Yeah. So like between that and just the way we hold that whole tournament, it was such like a from that point forward after Rotten. Maybe it was because at that time it felt like we were gonna die. Like we thought we were getting eliminated, and then from I guess the brink of death, like we ended up winning that game.
Yeah.
So it was just like, all right, like let's fucking do this shit. So we were on such a take care of business mode. Yeah. As for Jimmy O'Brien, first things first, I mentioned in my post game after this game, but Jimmy has like hardcore changed my life, and I don't take it lightly at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm not somebody to get emotional about nothing. I'm not gonna start crying or nothing. Don't worry. But
you can if you want. It's a safe place. Here.
Yeah, I think I'll be good. But I'll tell you, man, like this will surprise anybody, but like I didn't go to college, so this all could.
But you have
all
those books over there in your corner. What do you mean?
Well, yeah, I mean,
you're
listen,
a well-read man.
I'm a book nerd these days. Like I'm growing up. But no, you can just put it in perspective right now. Like I'm freaking 25 years old. I'm living in like my own apartment, like, and I'm talking to you about Blitzball, which is like to a degree part of my job. It is part of my job.
It is, yeah.
It all could have worked out so much worse.
Yeah.
For somebody that like is to a degree, kind of like a meathead in a way. Like, I'm not bashing myself. I'm not doing that game, but like I didn't go to college. Put it like that. And Jimmy has done so much for me, and I don't take that lightly. And I appreciated it more and more over the years. And I consider myself like very close to Jimmy. Like we just have like this like relationship where it's to a degree like it's similar with me and Chris Rose, but to bring it back to Blitzball, like Rose is kind of like in a way like I pull a Kyrie Irving here. I have one father, like Dan Rourke Sr. is my that's my dad, and like he's the most important man in the
there's
world
people that can play like fatherly roles and like mentorships.
Like my work life and people say like a second father. Like Jimmy is kind of like up there. Rose is definitely up there. Plouffe, in terms of respect, I put him up there too, but he's too young. I consider him like an extra older brother.
Sure.
Plouffe gets pissed when he's like,
got that attitude.
When we were on the same team in BB4, they're like, oh, it's like or BB3, whatever it was. They're like, oh, it's like a father and son thing. It was like, don't fucking come refer to me as a father.
It's like 30s.
It's like a big Plouffe was like, yo, I'm 37 or 30 or whatever it was at the time. Anyways, bringing it back with Blitzball. Jimmy has always believed in me so hardcore, and a lot of it has to do with, of course, Captain's League. But like the relationship already that I just talked about, like that was already there. So foundation of that, and then Captain's League happens, and obviously the game against Rotten, Jimmy's calling my pitches, which I thought was so cool. And this I don't think got clipped, but earlier in that day, I was throwing bullpens, and like I was with Jimmy. It was one of those things where, if Yes Network was broadcasting a Yankee game and they would show like earlier footage from like batting practice, they'd be like, and Rourke was working with Jimmy before and going bullpen. Right. That's literally like what we were doing, and it was like so cool. And I was thinking about it at the time, like, man, it'd be something like today I really pitched well, and like me and Jimmy are working during lunchtime, like literally throwing bullpens with him sitting on my side as a pitching coach. So between that, him on my pitches and just like being there for me, believing in me, like, and whether it's calling the pitches or like the mechanics side of things, or just, dude, like you watch the replays of me striking out Plouffe, or like in the first strike against Shelfie, everybody's freaking out. Everybody's like, yeah, blah, blah. You look and you see what Jimmy's doing.
I know.
He comes out right away and he goes, calm.
Yeah,
like it just
he's
kind of
acting like how Dan Canobio's dad does when he's watching Dan Canobio. Like it felt very fatherly, and it really was cool to watch.
Yeah, and I'm gonna talk about this at some point related to Star Wars, but it's almost like the more and more I think about it, like it makes me think of this. Like it's so like he's literally like a Yoda on Dagobah, like Jedi Master type thing.
Yeah.
Because also, dude, when I start to really cook against Rotten, like there's replays that get me so fired up of Jimmy just like I strike out Plouffe, and Jimmy just like
It's
and then
awesome.
like there's like
I love the relationship, honestly. Like, I don't
oh,
think
dude,
you're
like he's
overselling it. How like much he means to you. It kind of comes across through screen. It's really cool. Um,
yeah,
and I just love how like in your head that he is to a point where he knows exactly what you're thinking after you like get
100%.
a big strike or whatever. That's why he's telling you to calm down because he knows exactly where your head's at because he knows you so
Right.
well.
Which of course then plays into when we face each other.
Yes.
And the night before, man, we talked about this on he talked about it, I talked about it. I'm sending him clips of Anakin against Obi-Wan because that's literally what it was to me. Obviously, everybody knows if you're watching this, I'm a big Star Wars fan. And everybody, I am well aware of what happens to Anakin. I know Obi-Wan slices him in half. Well, that's what Jimmy did to me, so I technically wasn't wrong. But then, full circle, alternate ending. But no, I was so geared up for it because one, it's just like it's freaking badass. It's such a circle of like life moment to a degree. Like
Yeah.
it's like student versus master. That goes way beyond just Star Wars. That's a tale as old as time. So like by default, it's sick. And then of course I relate everything to Star Wars and Anakin. So whatever. In a way, it's like, yo, I'm wearing the Anakin eye black. Jimmy, to a degree, you could argue kind of looks like Obi-Wan. I mean, he's got the beard, so it's like, yo, whatever. I'll leave it at that. Anyways, in terms of the mindset, obviously, yo, like he knows me through and through, like all the ins and outs.
Yeah.
So I said this on the broadcast, like I had to kind of think like Jimmy knows what I'm gonna throw, so I want to like do the opposite. But he also could be thinking about that, and it goes beyond just pitch selection. And I wasn't thinking about this at the time, but as I mentioned earlier, he knew like when I was gonna throw, like the timing of a step, which isn't always 1 to 2 seconds, but like I think he just knows my flow. He knows everything.
Right.
So that's that. I will say one more thing I want to mention.
Yeah.
I think the broadcast was actually pissing me off a little bit about
During that
how
game?
much
Or in general.
not about me, but just in general with like Jimmy. Like yeah, like with me at the least, like like Jimmy knows like how I throw,
Okay.
but they're just like assuming all of his success was because of like Jimmy's studying video, Jimmy's studying like has like tips, blah blah. He has tells, blah blah. Like Jimmy's always studying video. No, like Jimmy's just a really good hitter, yo. Like
Yeah.
with me, it's one thing. Like I'll hear out on that, but it was like every time Jimmy would get a hit, especially deep in the tournament, once he was hitting like 800, it was always just, what is Jimmy like the video he's watching? Man, like he said, like Jimmy's just a
thought
really
of it
good
more
hitter,
as
yo.
like a joke about like how he's so perpetually online and that he is the kind of guy that as a Yankee fan will like dive deep on stuff like that. That's
Yeah,
like
no, I
one of his
got it
hobbies.
as a
I
joke.
figured that's
And
what they
maybe, I
meant.
don't know, maybe just because I'm so just like, I don't know, maybe it's like defending my father-like figure, but it was like, no, like Jimmy just freaking rakes, yo.
Yeah.
And at least in the double hit off me, I hung a curveball, which like I get at this point I get very irritated about me hanging curveballs. It's like that's a pitch Jimmy should hit, Jimmy will hit.
Yep.
The fastball I threw him though that I hit the homer on.
That was it.
By the way,
That's
that's
off
the
the
only
plate.
time. Yeah, it was. It was too slow though. I think I forget what the velo was, but I wish I elevated it a little bit more. I wish I
Yeah.
threw a little bit harder. But dude, like you obviously know, Brendan, how I react most of the time, and I guess at that point I'm a little bit of a changed man. But probably the only time in my life whether it's like giving up a homer or giving up a bad moment pitching wise, or any moment that's not in my favor, and smiled afterwards. That's all I could do because one,
like you got me.
I can acknowledge an epic moment. I mean,
right.
Again, Star Wars, Anakin, Obi-Wan, whatever it want to be, like that is just like, yo, first pitch, you fucking kidding me, bro? Like this whole build up, and like Jimmy, like I would have been like,
get a bat flip from him too. He's feeling himself a little bit.
That was unnecessary, but no, I'm just kidding. 3-run bomb first pitch, bro. Like you can't make it up, and it's like, I love Jimmy so much.
Yeah.
But you notice, it wasn't cute once he hits a double off me though. And then I was like, fuck, man. Like, then I was getting pissed. Like, all right, I'm just not gonna be able to get this guy out today, I guess.
I know. He's on one.
But
I think also like you didn't give up. I think the first 2 people on base either, so it was a little bit like it would have been a solo shot if it was just me up here. I think maybe that was a part of it. I don't know if that would have made a difference.
Maybe,
to you.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be all like, it's so weird. I wish there was an alternative to the quote, everything happens for a reason, because it's so hard to say that and be like, I don't know, like, what do you mean everything happens for a reason? Like, but like, there's also like, it's like a thing to look at about it in hindsight. It's like everything, like, I would not want to go back in time and not give up that 3-run homer or not have those 2 runners get on against Norp, which I don't think they hit the ball hard off him either in that case. But Also, Nort, by the way, in the second inning, saved my fucking bacon. Was badass, and that's where that's where the warehouse saw playoff Nort that I had been hearing about. And I'm talking about
it
the
took a while.
mentality, like the come on, let's go.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
dude, I posted that clip just of him freaking out to my Instagram because it was freaking so badass.
It was sick. I mean, even like the broadcast booth hasn't seen him like that. They're like, "What's happening down there?" Like,
oh, dude,
but this is what he is.
They're like, what did Moreland say? He was like, he must have took what Rourke was on yesterday or something. Both of that.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's like, I always say this. I truly live by it. I don't ever rush for a train. Like these days at least, I'll be on the train I'm supposed to be on, because for all I know, if I were to make that train I was rushing to get on, I get off and I get fucking, I don't know, somebody slits my throat. Like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
That's the way I look at it, truly.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wish there was an alternative cool, like everything happens for a reason, because you can get into the murky waters.
If anything, I get what you mean.
Then it's like,
but you can learn from what did happen and like just
right, like I don't want to go back and change things. So in the case of this, it's like that 3-run bomb, especially with how confident we were at the time as a team, and then we get out of that with just 3-0. I struck out Jake a couple times, and like we get out of 3-0. Like we just like probably said that loud too, but like silently, we just knew we were going to take care of business.
Yeah,
like we did.
It's important that like, you came back in this game and like you pitched well again. Like sure, you gave up the home run, but you proved that back-to-back games now you're capable. And now Woogas all of a sudden has 2 capable pitchers, which not a lot of teams do in this tournament. Because Jimmy, is always going to be reliable. Norp is always going to be reliable. Even if he like gets hit around a little bit, gives up the gopher ball a couple many 2 times, he's always going to be like your guy. So if Dan Rourke all of a sudden can get out of an inning, get out of a jam, then it's just like you have that dynamic ability to go back and forth with whoever you need to use at that moment. And that was kind of opened up the code for you guys.
Yeah, and people were saying it, and it's absolutely true. I mean, it's really no coincidence. Like, what the finals ended up being, I think a big part of that is the 2 teams that had not the only 2 teams with the most capable pitchers, but the most capable pitchers, I'll say, at that point.
Yeah.
Or I would say, like, Norp and myself, and then, like, they have K-Mac and Nobio. I think that is the greatest advantage to have, at least in this given tournament. It's one thing, too, I mean, we got ice could be a caveat there. Not that like Zoe's one of the best pitchers in the warehouse, but Zoe is first of all improved like crazy. But even just if he were able to throw,
just like eat some innings,
just to be able to give Jack a break with a pitcher that at the very least Zoe can throw strikes. And like I've seen Zoe strike guys out before. So like Zoe is actually pretty good on the mound. So like that's the one caveat there. Like if Doyle just didn't have to throw as many bullets as he did, that could maybe change the argument. But like them aside, I think it completely adds up that the teams that were in the finals were the teams that I think probably by the tournament's end had the two best pitchers each team. Without like I'm not trying to gas myself up or nothing, but at least in that talent momentum. Agree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think you're right. And We Got Ice is the one caveat there. Like if there's a chance that Jack does win that game. And Jack still, like, by the way, goes in that second inning of that We Got Ice game where they lose. And only gives up 1 run and keeps that game within 2 runs. Like kind of insane when he's running on fumes to just like start making shit up on the fly. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna quick pitch. I'm gonna throw some new pitches in there I've thrown before. I'm gonna throw like a 3/4 arm slot knuckle drop just like to try like what a doc he was.
You know what it is, man? Jack Doyle. I mean, he's warehouse as hell, obviously, and he's funky.
Yeah.
First of all, you saw like Jack's always competitive, but in that game too, like you really just saw like one just the way he wasn't playing around with the way he was the way he was coming off was so much more serious. I thought was badass. But also, Jack Doyle's a fucking pitcher, man. Like, that's what they do. Like, they're just bulldogs. They're going to figure it out. It was just like, balls against the wall, whatever he's going to lay it out on the table, and like that's what he did.
Yeah.
Jack Doyle is pretty much like a god to me. He's the best pitcher in the warehouse, which is like what I always like aspire to be. And dude, even today I'm throwing a bullpen. I don't know if he realizes it, but I do it all the time for a reason because like I respect Jack so much. He's a good dude. He's cool as shit. But just talking like the pitching, I'm always throwing a bullpen. I'm working on my knuckle drop. I'm like, Jack, watch this. Jack, look at this pitch. Jack, you looking? Because like I want
you want to impress like the god in there.
All the time. Like I want, and who says like nice pitch or something? Like it means a lot to me because like Jack is a premier, like the best of the best, obviously.
Yeah.
And
he's the one that has like really
he is the true ace.
Figured out
and, like,
that
that's
knuckle drop
that game even when he had like I don't say some struggles. You can't blame the guy. His arm was basically falling off, but like he just left it all out there, and that's another thing that is just goes in line with Jack Doyle is a fucking pitcher, man. Like it's I can't say enough about it. It's sick.
Yeah, and it is interesting to see him kind of get into that serious mode too because he is so kooky. Yeah, had been so kooky throughout this tournament too, and when it became game time, he's like, I'm gonna buckle down here and just power
Yeah.
through.
And dude,
It
you
was
will get
nuts.
in like borderline pain with some of this shit. And it's not so much. I think Jack mentioned it in his thing too. Like for some people, it'll be like arm, and your arm gets like sore. But Jack was mentioning like for him, it's his hips that really start to like get
Yeah,
achy. I think
yeah.
he said that. It's so true, man. For me, it's especially my plant leg will get
My
sore.
planting
It's
leg
really
ass
not so much
cheek,
the
like
arm.
the
Like
ass cheek,
your
kills
just
me.
whole yeah, like your body just gets like sore. It gets
And
like
you guys are on
exhausted
cement
throwing
too.
that much. Yeah, I think that's honestly probably like, the biggest factor.
Yeah.
But or like dude, like Drew Davis, dude, I can't imagine how he was feeling. Like in one game, he threw like 100 plus pitches.
He of course
I
he told
honestly,
me afterwards. Like, I think before the full tournament even aired, he was like, "I'm just gonna tell you this now. Like Jolly doesn't throw a pitch. I threw everything. I probably threw one of the most pitches in the warehouse. I felt fine afterwards. Like, of course you
oh, he's not
did.
fine. Okay,
Yeah,
word, dude. Or,
fucking
or
lunatic.
Drew's a dog. My
Yeah,
bad. But yeah,
yeah.
nah, yeah, dude. He, by the way, he freaking should have been on the ballot for.
He said that to me too. I fully agree. He definitely deserved that. His numbers were nuts. He threw the
Yeah,
second
no,
most innings to Jack Doyle. I'm pretty sure. I think he threw like 8 innings.
yeah. No, Drew's a freaking dog. And yo, I talked about this too on the broadcast. I keep saying that, but full circle moment with that too. I was Drew Davis. Like my first the jeans and boots tournament was I was teammates with Drew. And that was filling in for a sick Jimmy Norp. I mean, it's crazy how
That's
things just
crazy.
all. Yeah,
I thought he was
so
going to be
shout
invited to
out
the
to
very first tournament. Jimmy Norp.
Norp. Yeah. Was it BB1? Yeah, I think so. Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it was BB1. It was gonna be MLW Snakes was what the jersey was, and it was Drew Davis and Jimmy Norp. Norp gets sick with COVID because it was like 2021.
Oh yeah,
That's still
yeah,
a
yeah.
hot thing. And yeah,
He doesn't come
I
in
filled
until
in. I
Blitzball
was
Battle
wearing jeans
5,
and boots. Huh?
right? Is it 5 or 4 that Norp came for?
4.
4.
Yeah. So
Okay.
4 is when he debuted, and that's when the Woogas when we first were put together. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty awesome. I mean, so
Shout
we'll
out to
give
him.
Norp a little bit of love now too. We'll talk about the
Yeah.
championship game. What was the decision going into him starting? Like, did you know that he was going to start and probably take the whole game, or was it just like, if he struggles, you come in, but if not, then just ride him?
Was pretty adamant about excuse me. Well, first of all, going into the baggage game, I wanted to come out in relief. I think part of it's like a mental thing. And it was just like a
That's
like a
what you
role I
used to
kind
do
of
too
filled
in high
into.
school, right? That's like what you
Yeah, it
were
was
as a
like
pitcher.
reliever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even back in the day, I would always just like struggle in the first inning. Like before openers were a thing, I think people used to make a joke like, oh, we're gonna have somebody come in to pitch to the first batter, then Dan can come in. And then I'd be like, really good. The first batter always like hit a home run off me, or like first batter always got on, or I give up one run in the first and then scoreless afterwards.
Yeah.
Anyways, so like the reliever role was kind of established going into the baggage game. Like that worked out, and that was exactly what Woogas Chaos thing, that was what we planned it to be.
Yeah.
No matter what, Norp was we were gonna follow that same plan, like Norp was starting. But he did say to me going into the championship game, I forget like, what he said. It was the way he was talking about, like he just like knew he could shut down McFlurry. He was like, I can get him out. And he was
Yeah,
saying, I think
yeah.
it was part of it's one, how competitive he is, how locked in he was, and how like determined, not to get all cliche and corny here, determined he was to win it all, but also style of the way he pitches versus McFlurry. He just like kind of knew, felt very good about his chances to take them down, which obviously he did. 2 scoreless, and he was freaking shut down. Like, he was awful.
Yeah.
Dude, like, that slot he was throwing. He says
it's
it's not a
nuts.
new pitch, which I guess it's not. But he was doing something
I think he
different.
just
with that day.
found
That
it a little bit better. Like, I don't know which game he found it in, maybe the previous game, but I think he realized that he just had to put his entire fucking body into it and scream and throw it as hard as he fucking could.
Yeah, dude, literally, because maybe it was
it
just
was
like
awesome.
the fact that there's an extra couple of miles an hour on it. But those were some of the nastiest pitches I've ever seen in the warehouse.
I think he knew he had found that, and I think he also knew that maybe that both batters and McFlurry were more like baseball players, and like where some of the other guys in the warehouse are like they're more familiar with like weird blitzball and wiffle ball
I think
pitching.
so. I think it must have been something like that because Norp was like so confident. It was just like, I'm gonna get the ball, like, which he always was gonna start, but he just like he kind of like almost knew ahead of time he was gonna finish the game, and like I believed him. Like I
Yeah.
could just tell by the way he was talking. But like what you said there is so true. I forget if Norp mentioned that, but like thinking about it, yeah, I mean, K-Mac and Dan very much more, especially K-Mac. I was like, yeah, Dan
Yeah,
too, like
yeah.
traditional baseball players. Thinking about like the way it would be like the looks and the tells compared to me throwing versus Norp throwing. I'm much more traditional baseball pitcher, whereas Norp is a little more funky.
Yeah, yeah. There really
Also-
might be something to that, especially because both those guys on McFlurry only show up here once or twice a year. You know, they don't play
Yeah.
at all in between. They don't do Captain's League, obviously, so they never see the ball
Right.
until franchise.
Yeah, and I don't think this had anything to do with it. But like now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever faced a lefty in my life, Brendan, warehouse wise. I don't. They're
Yeah,
obviously both
and
lefties.
they have both of them.
Yeah. So honestly, I'm thinking about what lefty would I have faced at any point. I don't.
Right.
Yeah. So
And
anyways,
that's
whatever
supposed
the
to be the
reason
good
was.
matchup. Is like the righty lefty matchup for this good for the batter.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So
Yeah.
I mean, not that affected. I mean, me and Norp are both righty too. But the main thing
Yeah.
is really just like Norp just was like so determined. Like, I'll get the ball and he'll. I'm telling you, he just like knew he was gonna finish that game. I do wonder if he had walked. There's a situation in the second where like it got a little funky, but like, he wasn't getting hit. I think he like
The second
he had like
round,
one walk, and then maybe there was a play that wasn't made.
yeah, it was Nerp strikes out Dan, then a single for K-Mac, then strikes out Dan again, but then K-Mac
Right.
walks. So this first and second, and I feel like at that point he was throwing some pitches that were like he was snapping off the slider like early, and it was like kind of flying
Yeah,
to the right.
because he was landed all out there. I think maybe the final because what did he do? He got a ground ball.
Dan Kenobi grounded out to Ryan Cohen. So I think
Yeah,
he
and I
was
think
now
maybe
starting
that
to go a little
counts not
sinker
for-
heavy because he had
Yeah,
lost
I think that count maybe like
slider.
we got 2-0 or 3-0. There's a couple balls in that count. And I just remember started to wonder like if he walks and its bases loaded. I was wondering like would that even watching back I was like would that have brought me in?
I
Obviously never
think I
happened
even
because
commented
North
that in
got
the
out
chat.
of
I
it.
said like bases loaded, Dan Rourke's coming in.
Yeah, I think that at least like that was the closest it would have been to me coming in.
Yeah, I think he's probably
and
still
maybe I
wanted to stay
would've.
in there because he was feeling it. But
Yeah,
he did
and
on the broadcast.
he
I don't know if you
did.
remember that, but he did say on the broadcast, "I've officially lost the slider," and that was I think
I
right
do
before that
remember him
last out.
saying that, yeah.
Yeah,
Just so epic, by the way. It's like this shit is so just fucking like it's such like a war, it's such a battle. It's like
yeah,
we're throwing blitzballs and it's like Norp is throwing the ball so hard, so much, so intense that one of his best pitches he no longer is able to throw because like you know, like,
yeah.
it's so
Like,
cool
alright,
like
don't
how
got it.
just the way this all plays out, man.
So weird how
Like,
baseball works. It's like, just like you lose a feel for it, or like it happens. I understand that feeling of just like I physically cannot do that right now. I have to like
yeah,
sleep
especially
on
with the
it.
slider. I don't know exactly how he throws it besides like the grip, but it probably is that's the type of pitch where you probably do gotta really get a lot of torque on the arm, and at some point if your arm is
Yeah,
borderline on the verge of dead, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
where those pitches do just flatten out.
it's across his body. He's throwing from almost like third base over there.
Yeah, dude, and those sliders were nasty, man. Like there was
Yeah.
like there's once he had this, I could go on and on, but he balled out. Obviously got out of it. The whole freaking tournament, this is what I'm saying before. It really goes under the radar because he's Jimmy Norp. Like this is what he's supposed to do, and I'm always like I'm kind of like the little children of the poor type vibe. I always have been.
Yeah.
Like yo, word up. Like I like outperforming expectations, and like I've been getting so much love. I love it to death. But like put it like that. Like I voted like Jimmy Norp in my opinion. Like he should win MVP. Like my vote is for Jimmy Norp to win MVP. I see a lot of people saying Dar MVP. By the way, I love Dar MVP. Or no, I love Dar. I love Dar. The nickname Dar. Jimmy Norp came up with that too. And I love that. My message to be like, it's almost like an Aaron Judge versus Cal Riley type thing.
Sure, sure.
Like I feel like
But like Aaron Judge is clearly there, but like the
Me winning
storyline is better
MVP.
for Dan Rourke, I guess.
right, me winning MVP would be like Cal Riley winning MVP,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
cute and all. I understand thinking that for a moment. And
Shut,
yo,
your,
like, word up.
shut your ears, Mariners fans. We're sorry.
Yeah. But ultimately, let's not lose sight of who the real MVP is. It is
yeah.
Jimmy Norp.
Yeah, and no
So,
shade
like,
to either, but I fully agree. Like, I think I even voted Jack Doyle. But I think on your team, I think Jimmy Norp's to me a clear contender over you just because he did like power through majority of the season, and you got hot at the right time for sure. But
Yeah,
he's
and, like-
also like he's the power core of like your offense also.
And in the end, I know I had the walk off at the end, but that's all I did. And there was a little bloop double off the wall. That's the only L, by the way, of the tournament. A little anticlimactic. That's my only. I wouldn't go back in time and change that because again, like,
Yeah.
for all I know, like I go back in time and try to change it, I strike out or whatever. Who knows what happens?
Yeah.
I do wish it was like, I don't need a homer.
Of course you do, but
I
like,
wish it was a little more of like a solid piece of contact. I will say that.
it's also like still it's so warehouse though. Like it was definitely a little anticlimactic, but when you see that happen, like oh shit, like it's cool. Like it
Yeah.
the way it ends being like the way that it would have ended in your backyard with your funky rules back there too.
Yeah.
You know, it was perfect. It was better than the We Got Ice walk. You know, like at least there was some contact in there. It also
right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. It was also funny
Yeah.
to watch your face where I don't think you realized at first that it skimmed that wall. You look like you're about to like pass the baton, and Norp's already celebrating.
Dude, that's happened a couple times. But now, yeah, you hear Norp's like, "That's it, we win," or something like that. I'm like, yo, work. That's happened a couple times. We had a walk off against same deal. I like blooped It was a double off. I don't remember. This is ways back. This is maybe our first tournament before. This is the same tournament I walked off Jimmy. But we're facing Lovias. I hit a little like almost identical
Yeah.
double off the wall against Lovias, like off
Pop-up
Nikki
wall
Cash.
scraper.
And I had no idea. I'm like, oh, that's it. Word up.
Well, that rule wasn't always in play. I feel like it was more recent that the sidewall on a fly was a double. It was like the last.
It might
few
have been a
tournaments.
single at the time, honestly. I forget what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't even really process it because like I don't know. Even maybe to this point right now, I don't fully know the rules of what the warehouse are. You know, you always
Yeah.
got to
Well, they're not like necessarily ingrained in you because they do also like change frequently enough that's hard to remember everything.
Yeah, dude, how did you feel about the new rules this year with like the ball off the wall advancing to third, that kind of thing?
I love that.
Me too.
I love that. I was always trying to think of like kooky stuff growing up when we would play wiffle ball or like kickball, or we played this game called stoop ball, where instead of like hitting, the batter would throw it off the bottom step of your stoop, and then the fielders would be behind you. But we'd always trying to think of like rules where you could somehow turn a double play when you're playing automatic still. Like you'd have to like be behind the pitcher's mound and throw it, field it, and then throw it at the strike zone, and that would count as double play. Like I would always try to think of weird things like that could emulate real baseball. So I think the off the back wall, bringing the runner around to third, I think is fair enough where it's like it rewards you for making good contact, I think.
Right. Like that I think is perfect because you can get kooky with rules. And I've always thought about the double play too. I think they all have. It's just like, how do you actually do it? And that would be like a kooky way of going about it. Not what you brought, like any way you come out, like naturally would have a little kookiness to it, which that in itself is fine because it's the warehouse.
Yeah. You have,
Like
you
the
have to
walk
toss
rule-
it back to Ryan Cohen, have him throw it at the strike zone. It would be insane.
Yeah. Walk rule where it's it's fitting for me not to like this. I don't love because it's like if you don't get the 2 strikes and you walk multiple batters in an inning, it's like an extra base. I guess to de-incentivize walks. Something about that is like a little too specific where it's like, I don't know about that.
I forgot sometimes, like as we hadn't seen it for a couple games in a row, when I think the baggage game, when there's a third walk in the inning, like, why the fuck isn't that runner going to second base? I forgot that the caveat of like it having to be, I think he got to 2 strikes or something like that, and I didn't realize.
Right, it's a rule that
it should just be black.
You got to remember a little too much.
Yeah,
for it to
especially
be
the
a
first
rule.
year with it.
Yeah, the first to third rule though I think is freaking awesome.
It's clear as day. It makes sense.
Yeah, and it's also it's very similar. Like that's how it really kind of is in real baseball. You'll have a single where, at a certain point, if it's in a certain gap, or maybe you look at like a certain runner on base, whatever it may be, like there's a first to third situation that'll happen relatively often.
Yeah.
So like that is cool that that's in play, and also it makes stopping a ball from getting to the back wall. Well, maybe if you don't feel the ground ball, still stopping it. Like Cohen made some plays where it's like a ball off the side wall, but he still stopped it from hitting the back wall.
Yeah, it brings a little ball and play action in there too.
Yeah, I thought that it's one of those rules that's so good. I'm like, damn, like we probably should have had that years ago.
Because it emulates the real sport and also just like makes the play in the field a little bit more entertaining too at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. So I really like that. Was like I was all about that.
Yeah,
rule.
I like that one. I would maybe change the walk rule to just like 3 walks in an inning gives you the double.
Yeah,
Along
those lines.
I think that's
or
fine.
Just like.
Especially with the good pitchers, when you have the
3
pitchers.
walks and you're banned from pitching ever again.
Never again. Not
I have at least one of those games for tournaments, so I should not put that out.
You don't put that out there. But I really, you start to see less and less walks with the other rule of being the teams can pitch whoever they want, as much as they want, or as little as they want. So I think in general,
love that rule.
That helped us see less and less walks without needing the a non-competitive walk rule. So I wonder if that one specifically will change next year. I don't know if you know already or not.
Yeah. No, what are you saying about the
About
go back to
the walk rule? If they're gonna change that.
I don't know. We haven't. We usually so we're doing Sure, I can tell you this isn't like that much inside info, but like schedule wise, I don't know if they told anybody this on the back end, but we're doing our Captain's League tournament recording in January, and then February 18th is when we're recording Blitzball Battle 8.
Oh, so you guys are like built up for that.
Yeah. So like we'll have our big like meeting ahead of time. We'll go over any like new rules or something. Like when we found out about the new rules this year, formally it was first day of the tournament is it's Wednesday through Saturday, I believe it was this past year. So like Tuesday night meeting that we have, which they call like the orientation, that's where they go over all like the rules and stuff, and it's like introduced in that way. So it'll probably be the same thing this year. There are some changes coming, I'll tell you that. And it's probably something I'll probably tell you off air because I don't want to be the guy that
Sure.
I don't
that's
pull Tommy out Holland, but what was I going to say?
But as far as you know now, do you I don't know if you're allowed to say this, but are you guys keeping that pitching rule of allowing whoever to stay on the mound?
I think, as far as I know, that is definitely staying.
Which is probably why you're doing Captain's League right beforehand, so you guys have a little bit of like arm strength or something.
Dude, I'm so pumped for that. One, I just want to play as much blitzball as possible.
Yeah, in a long stretch
Now,
there, nice.
that's especially how I roll, but also, dude, it's gonna improve the product to like a franchise so much where we're doing back-to-back tournaments of Captain's League, which it's not just a Captain's League shoot, it's we have 2 weeks of dress rehearsals, which makes it sound like it's a freaking Broadway play, but like, you know, we record Captain's League now on Thursdays. So
Okay.
the Thursday, first one we're recording, I think it's like January 18th or something like that, and then we'll record that Thursday, and the playoffs will be the following Thursday. The prior 2 Thursdays though are in like practicing, so that's a full month basically. Where every week we're throwing blitzballs, hitting blitzballs.
Yeah.
For Captain's League.
Is that your
And
work
then
day
we'll
too
have-
on Thursdays, or do you have to go?
Yeah,
after?
it's a work day, but like
Okay.
that's part of why now they're Captain's League at least. Franchise too, they're trying to consolidate it to make it less work days because it is kind of tough sometimes. We're like, yo, I still have to edit the same amount of videos I have
Yeah,
to.
the whole company's
done.
involved in warehouse days.
Yeah, like we still have to do all the same stuff on the weeks where we don't have warehouse, so it does get
Yeah.
tough. So now they're trying to, consolidate that a little bit. Like that's 4 straight weeks for Captain's League ultimately of playing blitzball every week, and then we'll have the same process with franchise where it's gonna be 2 weeks of dress rehearsals for that too, and then the actual tournament. So it's ultimately gonna be 7 straight weeks. By the time we are playing blitzball for the franchise tournament, BB8,
Yeah.
we'll have 6 straight weeks in a row where we're all just been every week hitting. So it should be the most like
Yeah.
refined blitzball product we've ever had. I mean,
And it's
definitely
gotten
will.
better every year too. So that just
Yeah, and the main thing really is the pitching. If the pitching is good,
yeah, that's the most important thing. It looks great this year, honestly.
yeah, and it's one of those things where, dude, having that rule is so nice because there's a couple teams, obviously the Woogas, baggage, like it doesn't mean you can't use multiple pitchers. Most
Yeah.
teams still do. So it's like, or in the
It
case
still
of us,
incentivizes
Rourke,
like
for example,
Panic to
right?
get better because you want to use him in order to like help Dalton out a little bit.
Right, yeah, and it was really tough with that too because like if Dalton didn't get hurt,
Yeah.
their season could have been different. But
Yeah, for sure.
what's it called? Like with us, I pitched a lot this tournament, but also come the championship game, I didn't pitch once. I didn't need to.
You need to.
And then it's like, yo, North threw a complete game shutout. Like that's a possibility now. Like
Yeah. But you
Think
have
about
the
that rule,
insurance
I think,
policy
is
there
perfect.
too, which is just good to know. I
Yeah.
think that might even help Norp in the mound too, just knowing like, all right, Rourke's behind me and he can just be lights out if we need him.
me too. Me
know?
too. Like when I'm on the mound, knowing I have North behind me. Like again with the baggage game,
Yeah.
North bailed me out in the baggage game. Like it's almost, I won't say identical, but like, dude, he came in and fucking like some of those sliders he threw in that game were huge. He kept it at 5. While I came in looking to close it out. You think Jimmy went on that swing, by the way, or no?
I don't. I think it was
My
somehow
dad
it was,
didn't think so either.
it was like straight on. It was truly completely parallel, perfectly parallel somehow.
Yeah, word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I ended up giving up the tying hit. Or bails me out of that. So it's like, yo, if I had to stay in that game or say I had to get required a certain amount of outs, the whole franchise is different. It's like you can just be like, you've got it like less entertaining, less.
Yeah.
I don't know. So cool.
I agree. Cool. All right. Well, I only have like probably 10 minutes left on my mixer because I didn't clear that much room off it.
You're chilling. You're chilling.
But I'm going to get to our quick Yankee talk before we get out of here.
Sure.
I don't know how short you can make this because it's a big question. But
Yeah.
if you had your reasonable, perfect offseason for the Yankees, what moves do you want them to make? So I think there's different trains of thought here.
Yeah. So
Where
reasonable.
are you at?
I do want Cody Bellinger back.
I think that's
I
important.
preferred Kyle Tucker as the player, but I've heard some few things in the back end, which is, the rumors about Tucker not being obsessed with baseball and not being a guy teams are in love with, and a lot of it to do with the stint in Chicago. Chicago did not like Kyle Tucker, or didn't love him,
Yeah.
the way he was handling himself. And I'll just leave it at that.
Sure.
It's like
It's a lot of money for a long time, so
he didn't kill anybody, but like, a player you want to invest that much money into,
you wanna be
wanna
very
make
sure.
he's balled in.
and you just had Bellinger, and you know he's going to be great.
Right. So, and regardless of how I feel about that, I just know the Yankees or anything crazy, they're not going to sign Kyle Tucker. Are they going to get Bellinger back? I hope so. So that's one thing. I want Bellinger to return.
Yeah.
I also really want Tatsuya Mai, the pitcher from Japan.
Okay.
A report came out. We're filming this on Thursday, December 18th. A report came out yesterday on Wednesday morning that they're one of the 2 finalists with the Cubs, or not one of the 2. They're expected to be one of the 2 finalists with the Cubs to sign him. That got me really excited. I'll tell you, I've heard some things in the back end that make it sound like that report is bogus.
It's hard.
I
It's
no
hard to
longer have
tell with
my.
these things. Like, I feel like
I
there's
know
so much.
it's
There's so much
so hot and cold.
time
It
in the
drives
off
me
season. They're
insane.
just like putting shit out there.
Bro, even with like Luke Weaver, for example, dude, the day before he signed with the Mets, which like God bless him. I wish him well. I don't really care about that, but I'm just using an example. He signs with the Mets. We found out the Yankees didn't make an offer for him. The day prior, a report came out. The Yankees have genuine interest in
I saw that too.
reunion with Luke Weaver. And it's like, then you find out they never made him an offer. It's like, what are we doing? So it is hard to get caught up in this.
Yeah.
I heard a source enough that I'm not going to play the source game, and a lot of this comes from like the JM circle. I have enough reason to believe that the Yankees will not sign Tatsuya Mai, so I'm cooling off on that. But I do think
we've
they're
heard
gonna
so
get a
much about them
starting
like only going trade market with starting pitching.
Yeah.
So I was surprised to see that they were that deep into Amai.
Yeah. Michael King, by the time this comes out, may already be out.
I would
but I think
love Michael King so bad.
Me too. I think he's finalizing a deal with the Padres right now. It sounds like, but we'll see.
Which is
I
kind
think
of
he's doing
surprising.
his physical.
I didn't think they were going to spend money, but
I didn't think so either. So maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it sounds like.
all right. He liked the sunny sunshine down there in SoCal.
Yeah. Now, big thing that they're apparently working on a physical, so that's a long physical when it comes to Michael King. And not saying that
that's fair.
Joke my mouth, but anyways, I want to get a starting pitcher. Resign Bellinger, get a starting pitcher. Depends who it is. It's going to cost a lot if it's Freddie Peralta, but I love that you're getting a starter right now because one, that improves what's already good to being elite.
I mean, opening day, we don't have much opening day.
Yeah, and then rotation depth that they have in terms of the prospects, there's enough there where you could pull one guy. Let's say it's their top dudes are Elmer Rodriguez, Carlos Legrand, but even like a Chase Hampton, who was a top pitching prospect they had.
Yeah,
number one pitching prospect in the system. Yeah, he underwent arm surgery this past year, so he's fallen down a little bit in the rankings, but still a top 10 guy.
Sure.
They have so many starting pitching prospects where, with anybody, you don't want them to go the route of hold on to them just because they're prospects, and you don't want to, trade away all these guys that are young and have potential like George used to do, which that's to a degree overblown. But anyways, they have such like a obsession with sustainability that the route of what happened with Clint Frazier or like Miguel Andujar, like they could have packaged those guys together and gotten Garrett Cole. So what I'm saying is, prospect hugging, I understand it to a degree.
There's always a balance with everything.
Pick like one or two untouchables, but everybody else got to be in play. Some players you almost look at and be like, no, we should trade this guy. Like out of the pitching prospects, let's say they love Elmer Rodriguez, they love Carlos Legrand. All right, keep those two guys. Let's roll with them. They got a lot of young, Cam. I don't even think I'd trade Cam for 1 year of Scuba right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I would gotta love Cam.
I love Cam, and he's big on Anakin Skywalker and Star Wars too. But like, I would pick one of these prospects you consider expendable. Let's say it's Chase Hampton. Package him together with Spencer Jones, who love Cody, or you're getting Cody Bellinger back, and if you like Jason Dominguez that much, all right, word. Same logic I use the pitching prospects. Pick one of Jason or Spencer. One of them, you should capitalize on their value.
Yeah.
And let's say a deal of Spencer and one of these pitching prospects, if it were to take that much, I'm just saying, lay out what you may be comfortable dealing, and then use that to possibly go get a blue chip reliever on the trade market or some sort of way to improve the team. Like, there's so many things that could happen. I don't think Jazz is going to get traded. I would never trade Ben. Me too. With that said, I don't think this is going to happen. But let's just say, for argument's sake, I love Jazz, obviously, but hell, I mean, if you can get Ketel Marte, not for Jazz,
sure.
Something like that, if it were to make sense, all of a sudden
because otherwise, I think those are the top two guys at second base position that you're talking about.
It's Ketel Marte and Jazz.
Yeah.
It's like, if a situation arises where it then makes sense to trade Jazz, all right, we can do that. But just like on paper, the things that I can tell you, like concrete, I want to happen, re-sign Bellinger.
Yeah.
Probably, honestly, I'd prefer to sign a free agent starting pitcher, but, if King's going to be off the board and they're not in on Amai, there's really nobody left.
Right.
I don't want Framber Valdez, so they're probably going to trade for somebody. We'll see what the return is to whoever that may be.
Yeah.
And then
it seemed like everyone's talking about Freddie the most. If anything, I guess it could be the other two options are the Marlins guys between Sandy and Cabrera.
Yeah, Sandy and Edward Cabrera, which Cabrera's interesting. And maybe they could trade. I've heard that the Yankees, if they wanted to, could trade Jason for Edward Cabrera. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, something along those lines. But as long as like that trade for the starting pitcher doesn't completely like deplete all the pitching prospects I was just talking about.
Yeah.
And like whatever that may be, I would use like one or two of those guys, or maybe even just takes one, go get a blue chip reliever that way, because they're kind of running out of options in free agency.
Yeah.
Those dudes are kind of all coming off the board. Like Brad Keller,
like that's probably why they're doing it. It's not a lot of good free agent options, maybe.
Yeah, and if there were anybody they liked, they're really coming off the board reliever wise in free agency. So that's the main thing. We got to figure out what the deal is going to be with Bellinger, y'all. I mean, it sucks he's a Boris client,
Yeah.
Boris is like lying
drag
through
it
his
out.
teeth, saying he's telling people that Bellinger has 8 to 10 year offers apparently. With
Really?
yeah, like it's like Boris, come back to me, brother. Nobody's offering Bellinger 300+ million bucks. Like, and I
No,
kid
yeah.
you not, I know for a fact that is what Boris is telling people. And it's like, first of all, if you were to say 8 to 10 year offer, you would just say 10. Like you wouldn't
Yeah,
say 8 to
that's a
10
good
year. You
point.
say no, he has
Right.
a 10-year offer. So Boris is lying through his teeth like always. He's being a punk.
Yep.
That said, though, I don't think the Yankees will have the highest offer for Bellinger. I do think there's a chance he comes back.
Yeah.
On one hand,
They should do what it takes because I think he's a really important, very dynamic player.
depends.
that they need.
I wouldn't want to give Bellinger like 7, 8 years. And if there's a team actually out there that is willing to do so, all right, be my guest. Honestly, peace out then. But also, people I think get caught up with the Juan Soto thing.
Yep.
Like, yeah, there are players that will take the best offer possible. There are also players who won't. Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Judge didn't. You know, there's a lot of examples on both ends of that where players do take the highest offer, also where they prefer the best situation. Bellinger, there's a good possibility he considers the Yankees to be what the best situation put him would be.
Yeah.
And also, not to be only talking crap about the Mets or nothing, but he just witnessed how it kind of went down with Juan Soto. I'm not bringing that up for the reason of, Soto left for the Mets and they missed the playoffs. But at least my hunch, I don't think Soto is very happy with his decision. And I don't want to hear anybody saying, oh, he's rich. What are you talking about? He's happy because he has 8. Brother, he was going to be rich no matter what.
Yeah.
He's getting 760 M's in the bank no matter what. So at that point, like, it is where do you think your life is going to be better? Where are you going to enjoy your time being more? Bellinger liked being a New York Yankee. So while I don't think they're going to have the best offer, there's still a good chance he comes back. I do just hope, I pray to God, Brendan, I hope it's soon because I can't take so much. I can't take too much more of this, bro. It's driving me insane. This offseason has definitely, I think I might be going bald because of it. Or I'm getting gray hair.
Sorry to ask you such a stressful question. Yeah, I just want
But
some
also
more.
at the same time, I love talking about it, but I also just I want a resolution.
It's stressing you
soon.
out. I get it. In fact, usually you at least know what direction the Yankees are going at this point in the offseason, and it just feels there's nothing so far. Everything that they did so far is like pieces back. So it's just interesting. But thanks for indulging me in a short form version of that.
Oh no, short form, Brendan.
Short form. But yeah, thanks again for coming out today. Appreciate the hell out of you. Where can people find you?
At Dan on Rourke on Instagram. You know, if you don't get enough Dan on Rourke on Blitzballs or Warehouse with Blitzball, you'll find it on my Instagram because I spam pretty much everything I do in the Warehouse Blitzball related. So at Dan on Rourke on Instagram, Yankees Avenue. That's where I do my Yankee stuff. See you back there, Yankees Avenue on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that. Brendan, I appreciate you having me on, dude. This was a freaking blast. And
Absolutely.
hopefully I'm coming on again sometime.
For sure. I mean, soon we got a lot of Blitzball coming up in the
BB8.
later
Well,
winter.
I mean, BB8 we recorded in February, so it probably wouldn't be out till like May or something.
True. Either way, I'm
always
talking
down to
about
talk
Captain's League
Blitzball,
for sure. So
Captain's League too. Word.
Yeah.
So dude, I mean, I'm a repeat guest now at this point.
Absolutely, you're regular.
Yeah. It went from you guys thinking I was dodging you, which really I'm just so bad at answering my DMs, to now, I'm down to come on a third time.
Let's do it next week. Let's do Christmas Day.
Word up. Hell yeah, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate
Last
it.
thing to say, vote Nort for MVP.
Vote Jack Doyle.
Word.